and operational. So once we're able to open the community center, we'll open the pool. And also you can see the new basketball court has been constructed, and that will be open as well. So we don't have an exact date yet, but we're very close to say we should be open no later than the end of this month. Believe it or not, the permits and the certificate of occupancy, was held up because there's been so much rain in Florida. All the sod fields were flooded, and they couldn't get sod that was needed to meet the requirements of the landscaping permit that would then allow to get the certificate of occupancy. So we're very close to getting that done. We had inspections of the building with several of the board members, also with the engineer and with the county. So everything's been done, and as soon as we get certificate of occupancy, we'll be opening that new beautiful building for everybody to enjoy.
So, Danny, the anticipated grand opening event, is there something planned, 30 days from now, or, for like a open house?
Yes, sir. We'll have our soft opening, get everybody in there, make sure everything's working, then we'll have a grand opening for that. Maybe a little chilly for the pool, but we'll have a grand opening planned for probably mid-November.
Okay. And then on the competition pool, the groundbreaking, right? Sunday.
Set for this Sunday.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, so at the Vance Harmon Park, they'll be breaking ground on the competition pool, and we'll be doing that on Sunday. We'll be doing that on Sunday. So the time is scheduled for
9 o'clock in the morning. Commissioner Arrington will be there with us, and it's going to be groundbreaking for the art competition.
so that's moving along.
I got a question here. I'm a bit concerned about the delinquency that we have here. I would like to make a recommendation. I'm not calling any numbers here. I would like to make a recommendation that we create an in-house collection department to call the residents and collect the money. I think we probably do very well. I see a deficit of 2.8 billion. I think if we create a collection department like we had before, we probably reduce that to maybe less than $1 million. So we can do much better than what we're doing right now. At this point, I make a motion or recommend that we create an in-house collection department.
Mr. Jolly, you realize right now that we have an in-house collection personnel that is in charge of doing just such.
Who is that?
Well, Raquel Brown is in charge of that department, and Ralph is one of the collection agents that works with her on that. So we have that department. We've sent out, how many?
Then why is the delinquency so high?
People aren't paying.
No, people, I've been told that they call to pay their money, and there is nobody to collect the money. They tell them you have to call the lawyer's office.
If it's been turned over to collection, yes, they have to speak with the collection agency or the attorney. That's the process. And everybody within APV received a letter, a statement saying how much they owed. We've sent out 96,000 statements to everybody that's been past due, and if they refuse to pay, because they've been told what their ledgers are, what they owe, if they refuse to pay, the process is utilized as put forth by the board to send them to collections.
So do you think that one person handling 26,000 accounts is enough to be a collection department? I think you should have about 4 people, because you're talking about a lot of accounts. I don't think one person is enough.
All right, with the management report being concluded, the next item on the agenda is open comments and questions by the membership.
You didn't answer the question.
You didn't answer the question.
Guys, you didn't address my question and my issue. I'm concerned, okay? I need you guys to address my concern.
That's certainly the direction of the board, sir. We don't make those decisions on staffing or how to implement processes and procedures. The board gives us direction, and that's what we do. So if you're asking me if we need to hire more people, I'm going to tell you no, because the system that we're using is very, very effective at no cost to the association. You're talking about adding 4 people at about $120,000 or $150,000 a year in salary, not to guarantee you're going to have any collections. Well, right now, at no cost to the association, we've collected over $2.4 million. So if you're asking me specifically, Mr. Jolly, your answer is no.
I'm not asking you to hire more people. I'm asking you to revamp the 114 people you have and put 4 people in collection.
Mr. Jolly, I think what we could definitely do is utilize December and January and February of this coming year to assess what it is that the collection efforts are providing as far as productivity and not. So we'll do that assessment, and at that point in time, if we feel that the board has enough information to make those decisions, we will definitely yield to the board's opinion about adding more folks to the collections department, sir.
The next item on the agenda is the opportunity for membership to speak on agenda items. Just 2 reminders. Number 1, please limit your comments to an item on the agenda. And number 2, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to speak, and we don't want to take away any time from anybody else. The first person to speak is James Woolworth, and it indicates agenda item number XI, which is just the open to members agenda. So, Mr. Woolworth.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
On your manager's report, the financial statement to which you have referred to, for what period? I didn't hear anything about income. I heard about the expenses. Am I correct? Other question. The new community center, what was the cost of that construction? What was the cost of that construction? How many bids were received for the said construction? What was the total budget for the last year? Those are my questions.
Well, to answer a lot of those questions from the standpoint of the budget and the finances, the July 31st statements were pretty much the last real good statements we had. We're trying to produce the August statements and finalize August. Main reason, again, is because there was some interruption that took place. Reconciling accounts was difficult over the last several months. So once we have everything reconciled from all the activity that took place in the month of August, we will make sure that we report at the upcoming meeting what those finances look like. But right now, we're very good as far as the numbers and comfortable with the numbers that we have. But again, it's been very difficult to be able to provide financials beyond July 31st due to the fact that there was a lot of interruption that took place in August. But we're close. The other question that you asked with regards to the construction of the pool, the association set aside $4.4 million overall. The physical construction was roughly about $4.1 million, leaving roughly about $300,000 or so in additional funds for things that come up. Of course, you get change orders from time to time. Thank goodness we didn't necessarily have that many change orders compared to other facilities that are constructed. So, and then of course the rest of the funds available for FF&E, which are the furniture, fixture, and equipment that we would place within the facility. So to answer your question, the total cost was $4.4 million. As it relates to the bid process, the association, for all the contractors that were involved in the process of constructing the building, there were several members within the group that were involved in a bid process. A number of different contractors did bid to those specific jobs, and then the process of selection took place. Unfortunately, one of the things that we did do is open up the bid process to a lot of groups within APB, within the Association of Point Siena, and we didn't necessarily get as much as far as traction with a lot of people coming in and putting their bids in. But we did extend it to the community. So those are some of the highlights of your question, sir.
Well, I'm not satisfied.
Okay.
Revenue is computed monthly.
Yes.
January, February to July.
Yes.
What was your revenue? That's my question.
Well, revenue this year.
Total revenue.
Revenue this year is expected to basically be on budget with what the revenue that we expect.
No, actual revenue.
The financial statements that were produced show revenue through July of, it was 4.2 if I recall. It was 4.2 at that particular point in time.
4.2.
In July.
However, you said expenditure was 5.3. Hence, a deficit.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
You said 5.3. I copied it.
Well, if you recall,
What
yeah,
years?
if you recall, because you're saying about revenue this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said 4.3.
Yeah, there was an additional $800,000 carryover of surplus from the prior year. If you looked at the financial information provided for the budget, there was a carryover from prior year. Mid-year this year, from a cash standpoint, because of the $1.5 million that the association offered Osceola to begin the project. Okay, if you recall, there is another project. There are going to be 2 pools, not one. The competition pool was added to that particular mixture. So, don't want to extend the time and opportunity to have others present. Yeah.
However, I'm not happy. The surplus last year would have been in your cash balance.
Can I offer you that? Can I offer you this? Can I offer you this? Can I offer you this, sir? Sir?
January, July, that's my question.
Sir, can I offer you this? Because these are very, we got to get down to the financial statement type of conversations. More than happy this afternoon, if you want to come over to the administration office, we'll go through each and every one of those financials for you. Is that fair? Thank you.
Thank you.
The next person is Renata Ward on elections.
Boom. I get this feeling sometimes when I'm sitting here and listening to the meeting that there's an animosity towards Village 9. I'd like to know why, because we're very proud of being members of the Association of Point Siena Villages. We are, however, a completely different type of village.
That's why.
We have a clubhouse, we have a pool, and we have association fees. In addition to the $20 a month, we pay $57 a month in association fees. May I speak?
No.
You know? You're out of order. Okay. So let me tell you that when you want to have an election, you better have a facility, number one. You better put out advertising because APV is not required to advertise your personal and village elections. And you better have money, because if you don't have money, you can't do that, okay? So, I hope I made myself clear. We pay for our way, and we do our thing, and yes, we have our own elections. Whatever you want to do, at a room here, every election, every village has a facility to vote in.
No crooks. I got the evidence here about the election. No
You're
crooks.
out of order, sir.
You're out of order.
You're out of order. It's not your opportunity to speak.
Gotta bring the evidence. I got the evidence here.
Sir, you're interrupting somebody else's
I got the
right to
evidence here.
speak. You are
I got
interrupting
the evidence here. I'm
somebody's
telling
right
you what. I got the evidence. You're a bunch of crooks.
Okay, we heard it, we all know, thank you for the information, but we know that already.
Next person. You know what?
The next person on the list is Valerie Crabtree on the meeting process.
Thank you very much for letting me speak. I'm not a resident here in Point Siena. My name is Valerie Crabtree. I'm a candidate for Congress for the United States House of Representatives, which covers this district the way the lines are drawn right now. I'm an Ohio licensed attorney on active status, but I'm not licensed here in Florida. We moved down here in 2002, and during the time I was in Ohio for 8 years, I owned a real estate company, and we did association management as part of our services. I also go to all kinds of meetings in Osceola County. all the time. I'm at a meeting in Osceola County, it seems like. And I will tell you that the way those meetings are conducted is that for each topic that comes up, people at that time, when the topic comes up, are allowed to express themselves before a vote is taken. The idea, and I don't think that this, sir, I'm well aware, the reason I gave you my qualifications is because I'm well aware of what the meaning of fiduciary duty is. And I do not think it is a breach of fiduciary duty in order to hear the public. What you have here is a powder keg that is ready to explode. And I think it's not helpful. I do not think that it is helpful for meetings to be conducted where people believe that they have no voice, because it is important in our society that people have a voice. And what I want to say here is this, that when these meetings are conducted, the reason why people speak out of order and the reason why people may behave in ways that are, ma'am, I forget what your word was, disruptive, is because they are frustrated. And I have sat through enough of these meetings to understand the frustration of the people that are here. And so I am here as an observer. I have been here as an observer and someone to learn so that I can represent this area to the very best of my ability when I am elected to Congress in 2016. So I need to know what goes on. I am suggesting to you that you change the format of your meetings so that when the topic is brought up, people are allowed to hear, that you are allowed to hear what they have to say, because I think it's a breach of fiduciary duty to be making decisions without being able to listen to the people that are being affected by those decisions. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Very right.
Yes, Mr. Bloomstead, building more houses. Why don't you bring commercial over here so people can get jobs, so they can pay for their houses? People over here in this community, they got 2 jobs. They work Tampa, Orlando, and all of that. I mean, for the association to come and take their houses, their American dream. Bring some jobs in the community.
Frank Sowers?
Frank Sowers? Hi, my name is Frank Sowers, and I'm retired military, and I've lived here over 20 years, and I own my own home. I'm not trying to say what is right and what is wrong, but I do need the support of this board here. We're going to have another meeting again on November 9th over at Point Siena, over where the commissioners meet, and they're going to discuss again whether or not we become a city or not. And it's going to be put a vote, it's going to be put up for a vote again on that day. Now, this is the 4th time that this has been brought up before the delegates.
It's not on the agenda.
I understand that, sir. I'm not asking you to discuss whether it's on the agenda or not. What I'm asking from this board, sir, you need to be quiet and let me say what I have to say, all right? What I'm asking from this board is that I need your support, or we need your support to come to this meeting and either say yes or no, okay? This is what we need help. We need this board, as they have spent over $80,000 in 2009 to investigate whether this was worth or not to become a city. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say, that you, the board, I'm asking you to come to this meeting and express your feelings on whether you should do this or not. That's all I'm asking, because you people are our representatives. You were voted in to help us to deal with these problems, okay? And A lot of us are on fixed incomes and we cannot afford to pay all the taxes to become a city. And we have all the conveniences here in Poinciana right now as a city. We don't need to put a burden on anybody else. I've heard over again, okay, and this is the subject that you say, sir, that was on the agenda. You want to know why people are losing their houses? It's because of people like you, okay? You're not concerned about the needs of the people in this community, okay? And that's what I'm trying to say. It's going to destroy us. You think you got bad now? You think you got foreclosures now? You go ahead and get this thing approved by the delegates, and I say half of the people in this community will be gone, okay? Or you'll have all of us on your list to be foreclosed on.
You keep saying you. Who are you talking to?
Okay, what I'm talking about us, sir. Okay, I'm talking about me and the people in the community.
Are you talking to someone specifically or just the whole board?
No, I'm asking the whole board to go to this meeting, sir.
I thought you were singling me out because we don't take care of this.
No, sir. What I'm saying is that you are our representatives. We need your help, okay? We need your help to come to this meeting on the 9th. They're going to have it at 9 o'clock. They're going to have a special board meeting, okay? We need your support. You represent us. We voted you into office, so that's what I'm asking.
Sir, I'm at all the meetings and you know that. I will be there and you know that.
All right, the next person is Miguel Montes.
Mr. Montez?
Mr. Montes, you're given 3 minutes.
I'm told here that I'm only allowed to speak about one issue.
You got 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes, 1 minute each. Okay. Mr. John Perez, Mr. Peter brought an issue of individual villages election. I have a petition from 5. Okay. The base of the elections, they didn't articulate it very well, you know, but there is nowhere that says that that board can dictate the individual villages when and how and where to conduct the annual meeting and the elections for the members of their board. As a matter of fact, the documents, the governing documents are very clear. It says every individual village, every village should have or shall have a meeting, annual meeting on the second Tuesday of January of each year. And they will decide how many first year term, second year term, and third year term elections will be conducted. Now, we have this facility, and that's their responsibility. Each individual village is their responsibility. So the public notice that was published on the October edition is wrong. Who is Mrs. Brown or whatever, Roquel?
Brown, yes.
On the Water Authority, Roquel Brown tell us to conduct a meeting on February. That is, I don't know if it's pronounced right, ultraviolet, out of their bounds. No, she is the registered agent for each one of the villages. That's all she can do. Receive complaints and suits, okay? Second, and request that the vote on that issue be reconsidered. And second, the purpose of the board is for the health, welfare, and the most benefit of the people of these villages. Now, there's a problem. People are not paying the dues. But before turning over that huge amount of money to first 100, why don't give the opportunity, a moratorium, to the people that are behind, that cannot pay, and say, you have so many days to pay on the discondition. For example, you're going to sell the debt to first 100 for pennies to a dollar. Why don't you offer that same benefit that you're giving them to those people? And if they don't follow or don't take advantage of that moratorium, then so be it. And there's another one, just 1 second, because this one, like, he can answer that. He mentioned the court order of August 31st, 2015. I only have knowledge of the orders in relation to the injunction. If there is a second order?
No.
Okay. What does paragraph 13 says of that order?
Paragraph 13 addresses the August 3, 2015 special board meeting where the court recognized that a majority of this board approved replacing the former legal counsel with my law firm, and the vote that was done in favor of that, identifying the individual board members who voted in favor of it.
That's correct, but you say that the avatar, in that paragraph, avatar can break the impasse.
Because that's what happened.
Why is Avatar still on the board? This is Poinciana Villages, not Avatar Villages.
Next time.
The next person to speak is, I think is it Henry Gamble? Harry Gamble?
Harry Gamble. Mr. Gamble?
Harry?
Okay.
Janice Ayers?
My name is Janice Ayers and I live in Village 1. This is my first meeting because, believe it or not, I still work. So it's the first time I've been able to get here. One of the things I've noticed this morning, this is the most dysfunctional mess I've ever gotten into. I swear to God, people, we're grown adults and we don't know how to act in a public meeting, shouting at each other. I have to agree we should be heard before the vote, but we are a democracy, there should be ways to do it. But the reason I came this morning is I have always paid my dues, never been late. I have a big problem with people who don't pay. I'm all for collecting the money. And I happen to know they do send out several people, pay us, and they never pay. I've heard people in my own neighborhood go, I don't care, what are they going to do? Come take my house? Maybe it's time. But what's really aggravating me at this point is we talk about our representatives. In Village 1, a couple of years ago, I knew who was my village representative. They put it on the meeting board. I went to those meetings. Now, we have a village representative, whose name I just now found out, who has never once posted a dadgum thing for us to come see. We're supposed to find it out our own way. Tough to do, folks. All right? Whatever's going on with the legal thing, I know some money got took, bunch of money. Somebody shouldn't have took the money. You want to ask where you take money? You get the people who paid the money's permission before you take their money. Okay? You don't take my money without telling me where you're taking it and what you're going to do with it. But now, where are we at? If you live in Village 1, you know there is absolutely no maintenance of our public spaces, our common spaces. They're not mowing the road. They're not maintaining the retention ponds. They're getting dangerous with snakes growing up around them, coming up into our yards. You drive into Cypress Woods, you go, whoopee-tie, I just bought a house in a dump because they can't even maintain the roadways. So we got a hold of our representative. I would like to tell you what the answer I got from you, Mr. Jolly, on the telephone was, not my problem. I want to know whose problem it is, and I want it fixed. We paid our money. Osceola County also got money? No? Whoever's got the money, I want it fixed. So far, I'm paying extra money out of